In this video, we'll be solving question 6 of 2021 Junior Mathematics Olympiad first round. We're asked to find the sum 1 over 3 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 35 plus 1 over 63 plus 1 over 99 plus 1 over 143. Okay, so let me just write that down here. So we have this, but to find the value of this sum. So 1 over 3 plus 1 over 15 plus 1 over 35 plus 1 over 63 plus 1 over 99 plus 1 over 143. So if you look closely, you notice that each of the numbers, each of the denominators of these fractions we're adding together is a product of consecutive odd numbers, right? So we can write this as 1 over 1 times 3, and then 15 is 3 times 5, so we'll write that as 1 over 3 times 5. Then 35 is 5 times 7, so we have 1 over 5 times 7. And for 63, we have 7 times 9, plus 1 over 9 times 11, plus 1 over 11 times 13. So this down here is the same as the sum that we have on the first line. That's the sum we're given in the question. Okay, so let's look at something now. Let's look at a way of rewriting each of these fractions. So notice that all of these fractions, for example, 1 over 1 times 3, you can write it as 1 over 1 times 1 plus 2. 1 over 7 times 9, for example, can be written as 1 over 7 times 7 plus 2. So in general, all those denominators, or all these fractions, can be written as 1 over x into bracket x plus 2. So let's go about writing this in a better way that will allow us to solve this question. So we're going to try to rewrite 1 over x times x plus 2. So to continue, we're going to write this as, we're going to multiply it by 2 over 2. So this is the same as 1 over x into bracket x plus 2 times 2 over 2, which is write it as 1 over 2 times 1 over x, 2 over x into x plus 2. So the 2 in the denominator comes outside here, and then this 2 up multiplies by the 1 here to have 2 outside here, and then we have 1 over 2 outside. Okay, so this is going to be 1 over 2 times let me just try this again to be clearer. 2 into brackets x times x plus 2. Then we're going to write this now as, that's the numerator of this, we're going to write this as x plus 2 minus x, and then divided by x into brackets x plus 2. Now we're going to split this into 2 parts. So this is going to be 1 over 2 times x plus 2 divided by x into bracket x plus 2, then minus x divided by x into bracket x plus 2. And notice we have things that can cancel out here. For example, we have x plus 2 up here and x plus 2 down here. So those two can cancel, and these two x's too can cancel. And at the end, you have this to be equal to 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over x minus 1 over x plus 2. So this expression here, that's 1 over x times x plus 2, is same as 1 over 2 into 1 over x minus 1 over x plus 2. So we can write 1 over 1 times 3, for example, to be 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 1 minus 1 over 3. We can write 1 over 7 times 9 to be 1 over 2 into brackets, to be 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 7 minus 1 over 9. So now we're going to apply this new, so I call it an identity that we have here. We're going to write this expression here using the new identity that we just found. That's this. So we're going to write 1 over 1 times 3 to be 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 1 minus 1 over 3. We're going to write 1 over 3 times 5 as 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 3 minus 1 over 5. We're going to write 1 over 5 times 7 as 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 5 minus 1 over 7. Then 1 over 7 times 9, we write it as 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 7 minus 1 over 9. And 1 over 9 times 11 to be 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 9 minus 1 over 11. And 1 over 11 times 13 to be 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 11 minus 1 over 13. Okay, so notice we have like in all the terms we have here, we're multiplying the terms in the brackets by 1 over 2. So we have 1 over 2 here, we have 1 over 2 here, we have it here, and we have it everywhere else. So we're going to factorize this 1 over 2 out now. So this product, this sum rather, here is going to be 1 over 2 into brackets. So in this first bracket here, we have 1 over 1 minus 1 over 3. So write that in here. Then in the second bracket, that's here, we have 1 over 3 minus 1 over 5. So we have plus 1 over 3 minus 1 over 5. And in the third bracket, we have 1 over 5 minus 1 over 7. So we have plus 1 over 5 minus 1 over 7. And we continue with we continue writing the terms for the remaining brackets. So we have plus 1 over 9 minus 1 over 11 plus 1 over 11 minus 1 over 13. So this here is the sum. This here is the same as the sum we're looking for, right? And if you look closely here, you'll see that we have minus 1 over 13 and plus 1 over 13 here. That's these two terms. And they cancel each other out since minus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3 is 0. And same with these two terms. Here we have minus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5. And that sum is 0. So these two cancel themselves out. And so on. 1 over 7 cancels 1 over 7. 1 over 9 cancels 1 over 9. 1 over 11 cancels 1 over 11. And so on. And minus 1 over 13 remains there. So this sum here is going to be the same as 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 1 minus 1 over 13. And this is going to be 1 over 2 into brackets 13 minus 1 divided by 13, which is 1 over 2 times 12 over 13, which is 6 over 13. So this sum here we're asked to evaluate is equal to 6 over 13, meaning that option A is the correct answer to this question. So 6 over 13 is the answer. So that's how to go about solving this question. This method too can be generalized to a larger scope, right? Instead of ending at 1 over 1/4, we can generalize it. So let's say we're looking for the value of the sum 1 over 3 plus 1 over 15 and so on up to, let's say, 1 over x into x plus 2. When you apply this, right, you're going to have this sum to be equal to 1 over 2 into brackets 1 over 1 minus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3 minus 1 over 5 plus 1 over 5 and so on, and you have minus 1 over x plus 1 over x minus 1 over x plus 2. So you have something like this if you write out the sum for this. And then everything here is going to cancel. So this 1 over 3 will cancel this, 1 over 5 will cancel this, and so on. And the minus 1 over x here will cancel this. And at the end, you'll be left with 1 over 2 into brackets 1 minus 1 over x plus 2, which is 1 over 2 into brackets x plus 2 minus 1 divided by x plus 2, which is x plus 1 over 2 into brackets x plus 2. So yeah, I think this is, yeah. So this is what you have like for a general value of x, right? That's for that's a way of generalizing this question. So yeah, that's it for this question.